Welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where three idiot friends talk about movies, and today we discuss the best way to bleach Isaiah's nose hair. Here,
Frosted tip hair.
Frosted tip nose hair.
I am Big Lou, and here are my guests. Here are my co-hosts. Here are my co-hosts, Bethany and Isaiah.
We just got downgraded.
Yes, I just demoted you both.
Wow.
You've been promoted to customer?
You see, I knew this was going to happen, but I just didn't know it was going to happen this soon.
We've all been promoted to viewer.
Yes. All right.
So anyways, today today is our first episode of season 2. Yay! We are going to be talking about Harry Potter, which I'm really excited about because what? Oh, anyways, guys. So today we're talking about episode 1 of Harry Potter. No more Star Wars. Get the fuck out of here, Star Wars. Kidding. I love you.
For our wonderful American viewers, they call it the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yes, but
I believe the rest of the world,
people.
Yeah, for the actual people with a brain, it's called the Philosopher's Stone.
It's a big word, guys.
And as far as I remember, this will be in Isaiah's fun facts later, I'm sure.
Got that right.
Well, actually, I'll let Isaiah talk about what the fun fact is with why the name changed. Anyway, I'm going to jump real quick into our drink of the day today. Big Lou's Big Brews segment. Today, I have for you the hair of the three-headed dog.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm going to name it after Fluffy here.
Yes.
I miss Fluffy. All right. So, reading the ingredients here, personally, this sounds like a Bloody Maria. So,
what's a Bloody Maria?
So, a Bloody Mary is vodka and whatever you put in the Bloody Mary mix, which I'm going to assume is this tomato juice, lime juice, Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco, and something else. A Bloody Maria.
I just add that whoever the hell decided to come up with a Bloody Mary is an absolute madman. I do not respect him at all.
Yeah, I 100% agree. As a bartender,
if you
I also
Bloody
100%
Mary,
agree.
You are 50 years old and your name is Karen. Continue.
Or you're this one old guy that I served like 7 Bloody Marys to.
What a champ!
I'm exaggerating on the number. He actually only ordered 3.
That's still more than
might
the
as well
average.
been 7.
he really liked them. I don't know. So Bloody Maria is the same idea, but you're going to use tequila instead of vodka.
As if it couldn't get worse.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, just tequila instead. Anyway, so we take 1.5 ounces of tequila, half a cup of tomato juice, a tablespoon of lime juice, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, or whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it as, because I'm not from Boston.
Worcestershire.
1 teaspoon of Tabasco, and 1 12-ounce bottle of Mexican beer, like Corona or Modello.
That sounds okay. Continue. I'll keep my opinion till the end.
You're going to have your chili powder and kosher salt as the garnish for the drink. You're going to mix your tequila and all your other stuff I mentioned, and shake and pour. And
down the drain.
Yes, pour it down the drain. Hurts. I would give this a 0 out of 10 for wanting to ever try this or even accept this as a drink. However, you know what? I'm sorry. I have to amend that rating.
Okay.
I'm going to give it as, in my mind, it is a 0. As an idea and for the name, it gets a 2 out of 10.
Wow. Oh, a 2 out of 10, which is a 1 out of 5. It's the same.
All right, 1 out of 5. I keep forgetting we're doing the 5 ratings.
I was like, whoa.
So it's a 1 out of 5. We're going to go from 0 to a 1 out of 5.
Okay.
Opinions,
do you want to start first on this?
Half star, because that sounds like the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And the only
what's the half part though?
Half star.
Yeah. What's the half? What does he get the half point for?
Oh, the name. That's it.
Okay, that's fair. I think I will. As much as I want to give it a 0, like Lewis said, I think I'm going to give it a 1 just because I actually have never tried a Bloody Mary, but the thought of those ingredients together just sounds god awful. I hate tomato juice. So I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I also don't like tequila. So I feel like that's just a double. But at the same time, I'm open. But the chili powder, you know what?
You lost me there,
Chief. 0. Yeah, it's a 0 out of 5. I take it back.
But yeah, that my segment's a little short today. I'm glad we could all agree that this sounds fucking disgusting,
Mhm.
but it made me happy because of Fluffy, the three-headed dog. So we're going to go ahead and jump on to...
My question of the day. So, my question is a controversial one.
Oh boy.
Like,
Oh boy.
I've been enjoying these controversial questions more and more. I feel like they're more fun. And I'm ready to start some fights today. I'm feeling a little violent today.
Oh, okay.
You guys probably already know my answer to this one because I have not been scared to share my opinion on this. So, what are, in your opinion, some of the most overrated films and TV shows, and why? Pick like 3.
Okay, so we already used a few in a previous episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't name like Fight Club,
Okay.
and that's the only one I remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Hold up, I have a list.
He has a list.
I do too.
Send me the list. Send me the list, and I'll pick 3.
Oh no, I got it. Oh no, did I get rid of it?
Want me to say mine?
Sure.
Yeah, you say yours.
Okay. You probably are just going to disagree on majority.
Okay.
So the films and TV shows. By the way, this is my own personal opinion, so don't come at me.
Come at her.
She knows her opinion's wrong. Don't worry.
So my list of overrated films and shows are, not in any particular order, Get Out, The Shining. This is the one that I'm going to get the most hate for. Shawshank Redemption, Fight Club, which we already talked about. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one as well. Black Panther. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one as well. John Wick and Squid Game.
Squid Game. Didn't watch it.
I didn't know if The Shining was included on that list. I've already given you shit before for The Shawshank Redemption and Black Panther.
I know.
Isaiah, let's hear your list, and I let's see how we can go through this. And
Well,
just
I'd
kinda discuss.
I'd like to respond to Beth's.
Oh boy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So wait, let me actually respond. I'm gonna agree with you on Fight Club. I'm gonna agree with you on Squid Game was good, but it is a little overrated. And
just real quick before we get into this, is when you say overrated, do you mean like everybody praised it as like the best movie ever made, and you thought it was absolute trash, or you don't think it was as good? Like it was like everybody's like, oh, it's my god, it's a 5 out of 5. I give it like 6 out of 5 if I could, but you thought it was more like a 4, like a 3. So like it's still good, but it was not as good as you were expecting. Like what are we meaning?
I would say the latter. I enjoyed all of these movies that I listed, but they're definitely overhyped to the point where I was like, that was not as good as I was expecting it was going to be, given all of the hype from literally everybody.
Okay, all right, no, I get where we're coming from now. Okay, I thought you were like it's the complete opposite. Like everybody said it was great, and I thought it was absolute trash.
No, I enjoyed all of those films, John Wick and like Squid Game.
I could call John Wick overrated.
Yeah, all right. I enjoyed them all. They're fine, but they're just like they're just okay films. Like if they were on, except The Shining, I fucking hate The Shining. Like,
I will. Okay, I'm gonna do the opposite here. I'm gonna throw in one underrated film just to put a name out there because it's actually amongst my favorite list of films. The Green Mile.
That is a good movie.
Highly underrated.
Well, save that opinion because that's a question I have for another episode. Is what you think are some underrated films and movies and stuff? We'll
come back to that. Yeah, definitely. Okay, Isaiah.
Okay. I don't watch a lot of TV. So like TV shows. So I don't have any that come straight to mind about like overrated TV shows. I'm sure there are a few, but not off the top of my head that I can think of. But for movies, 3 that I thought, which on my list, I called overhyped and undercooked, which are only 3 at the current moment. So like,
overhyped and undercooked.
Yeah. Overhyped and undercooked. Basically the movies are overhyped and they just underperformed for me. Were The Suicide Squad, the second one, the remake, the reboot remake,
really,
the James Gunn one. I didn't like
John Cena.
Really, the John Cena one. Yeah, like to be honest. All right, and I know I'm gonna get some hate for that one, but it's not for the reasons you think, and I'll tell you after I'm done with all this.
Okay, so Suicide Squad number 2. What's next?
The second movie is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, I knew that one's coming.
Yeah,
and then the third one's Ready Player One. I did not like that movie.
Really, I liked it. It was entertaining. It was definitely overhyped, but it was entertaining.
Yeah. So like to give my reasoning just real quick for the Suicide Squad, the second one. Now again, these movies I think were all great. Like I'm not talking about like I'm like how I thought it was like they're overhyped so they're absolute trash. That's not what I mean. I still enjoy them to some degree and they are still good movies. But they just didn't do it for me. Like the second Suicide Squad. I understood like, okay, obviously it's a good movie, and in comparison to the original one, it is a masterpiece because the first one was so bad. However, if the first one didn't exist, let's not talk about the first one. The first one didn't exist, and this one is a standalone, just a regular movie. It was okay. Like I thought it was okay. It was pretty good.
That's a fair rating.
I actually found TV shows, well, not TV shows, like Netflix shows, okay, that I would consider overrated. And I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for both of them.
Uh-oh.
The first one, Stranger Things.
No, I agree.
I think I saw somewhere that someone said like the show should have ended after the first season.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
They're ending at like season 5 and they want to make spin-offs off of it or something.
I think season 1 deserved the hype it got, and then after that, it fell flat.
Kind of, yeah. For me, I've only seen a few episodes into the first season. It's not a bad show at all. But I think the only thing that's really memorable to me is the fucking Christmas lights and the Gorgon or Demigorgon or whatever the fuck they're called. I remember like that being a very vivid memory when I was at a friend's place in Orlando, sleeping in his living room, and I look over and I see the Christmas lights and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to die tonight. Second show, kind of overrated. And this one also, I just feel like they should have cut back a little bit on some of the stuff they produced in it. 13 Reasons Why.
Oh my God. Yes. Why is it still going? It should have been done by like maybe
more
the
seasons?
second season. It's still going.
What do you mean?
I'm pretty sure it's still going.
No way. Please God, no.
They're on like the 3rd season, I think.
Hold on.
They're on 4 seasons.
Oh God.
What? It should have stopped after the first.
I think 4 was the last season. But yeah, no, I 100% agree. It should have been done after season 1. I understood some of season 2 because it was like trials and stuff, but I wasn't interested in it. I stopped after season 1. I think I understand that the book goes on, but like doesn't mean the show has to.
I didn't even know there was a book.
Yeah, it's based. That's what it's based off of.
But yeah, I will probably catch a lot of flack for both those opinions. That's really the main thing I have to say about that. I want to throw in also an odd choice for an overrated film. And I want to say this more so in the sense of it was just kind of disturbing in a sense. And I don't think you guys have seen it. I'm not 100% sure. Clockwork Orange.
Oh,
I've heard of it.
I'm gonna let you finish because I have a point to make on that. But yes, continue.
I don't really have much to say. I remember watching it one night, and while I know it's like considered a sort of classic in a sense for, I guess, violent and interesting films or something, it's just overall it kind of parts of the story kind of just flop and don't really seem to connect very well throughout the entire film. I understand it's based on a book as well. But pulling it back from memory right now, like it's not one of Kubrick's best for dystopian film. So Isaiah, what's your point about this?
So to add on to that, Kubrick hates that movie.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, he doesn't like the movie because he abhors violence. I guess he just didn't like violence. And so making the movie, and it was like pulled off of UK cinemas because it was too violent and stuff like that. So he didn't, or I think he helped pull it, or he did pull it himself or something like that. Because he just didn't like how much violence was in the movie, or I believe. But yeah, no, I don't think he himself, I don't think like ended up liking the movie. Like he was like, I think he regretted making that one. If
I remember,
memory serves me correct.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that one after I watched it. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that a director would be like, he did really put in, the usual, I guess, Stanley Kubrick effort to make the film good. It's just, you could tell I guess his heart wasn't fully in it. Not a terrible film. Would still recommend you, if you wanted to really dive deep on all of Stanley Kubrick's films, would definitely put it on the list, but definitely not one of the best.
Talking on Kubrick, to go with what Beth was saying about The Shining, I thought The Shining was good. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but that's probably because
I agree.
I'm used to different types of horror movies. Like I understand that kind of horror movie and like why it is kind of the way it is. So I can understand it. Like I'm not gonna like be like it's trash or anything. I do think it's good. But but I think that's got an opposite opinion to that.
I would love to know why you think it's so trash, Beth. I'm on the same boat as Isaiah. It's good to me. It's a good film. It's not a masterpiece, but it's definitely, I can recommend it often. And it's very memorable.
I wouldn't say it's trash, but I'm sure for its time, like when it first came out, it was really good. But a big reason as to why I can't stand it is because I went to film school.
God.
Oh, pretentious Beth coming in.
Just the amount of times I've had to watch it and the amount of nitpicking that we did on it. I don't know. It's just like
why are the curtains blue situation.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it a dozen times to the point where I know it like the back of my hand, and it's just like a boring film to me. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, the acting's good, but that's about it.
And I think it came with didn't it make the Kubrick stare famous?
The what?
Oh, the picture?
They call
yeah.
it the Kubrick stare, like the way Nicholson stares.
Yeah. So should we talk about Harry Potter?
Yeah, we should
probably move on to Harry Potter. Isaiah, do you have any special facts for us today?
Yeah, Isaiah, what do you got?
Okay, so let's get into some facts here, guys. Okay, well, I want my notes, but there we go. Okay, so let's get into there's not a lot. To be honest, I'm surprised there was not a lot of interesting ones. It was a very straightforward. Hey guys, we're gonna make some movies, and then they made some movies. Out of the ones, let's start with Steven Spielberg was originally brought on to direct the first movie.
Why is he everywhere?
He is everywhere. That man is everywhere. So he was brought on
because it's Steven Spielberg. Why not?
That's true. Steven Spielberg was brought in, and like he spent like 5 to 6 months developing the first film. But then he dropped out of it of his own volition because he felt he wasn't ready to develop like an all kids movie because he knew it was going to be big no matter what. And so no matter what he did, it was just going to be a big thing. And he wants to do movies that his heart is into and that he knows will provide something for him as well. So he said no. He was gonna. He developed it. Also, he wanted to be animated, and he wanted to combine a lot of the books into one movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I think it was probably a mutual decision because Warner Brothers did not like that, and neither did J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. I love you, Stevie, but no.
Yeah, it would have been weird.
I also would not have. I don't think they would have played out well.
No. Rupert Grint sent in an audition tape of him rapping.
Oh,
what?
Weasley.
When he was
Ron
11,
Weasley.
he sent in an audition tape, and he rapped of like information about him of being like why he wanted to be.
Oh my god,
Weasley.
That's such a Weasley thing to do.
I couldn't find it. He does talk about it a lot, but I haven't found the tape anywhere. But he does talk about it in a few like conventions and interviews about what he did about the rap. Okay, next fact. Robin Williams almost played Hagrid.
Aw.
Holy shit.
However, J.K. Rowling pushed him out.
Oh!
Of course she did.
Because she insisted on all the characters being British. She wanted all the actors to be British.
She turned down the man of a million voices because she wanted them to be British.
It's really weird. Yeah, a lot of the contracts. Yeah, a lot of the contracts and a lot of the things that because she had a lot of creative control of everything. They basically she got final say on a lot of stuff. She said all the actors had to be British, and therefore like that also included like they could be Irish or Scottish, I guess, for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know some Irish actors in there.
Yeah, so they were also included, but they had to be mainly British for some reason. So some of it was filmed in local. It was filmed in local churches and schools because they were made a lot of stone and stuff like that. So they looked right, and they kind of So they would film like the courtyard in one place. They would film like a schoolroom somewhere else, and they eventually they combined the footage to look like a one big school. But most of it was filmed on a studio that they built that was an old aircraft hangar. So cool. So they bought out an old aircraft manufacturing hangar, and then that's where they have the main hall, the grand hall. That's where they do that. And also like thinking in the classrooms. So a lot of the filming was easy because all they had to do was move from one room to another instead of having to go to different places.
Right.
But a lot of the exterior shots were shot in other like schools and castles and churches and stuff like that.
To add a reason why it might have also taken place in London or why it has such strong Scottish, British, Irish origins, Wicca, which is technically considered like modern day witchcraft, has a lot of origins based in old Irish, Scottish, and other Gaelic tribes from back in the day.
Very true.
So from like the time of the Roman emperors and shit. So I'm assuming that may have also played into why witchcraft is so strongly based in like English tradition.
Well, we know also, how it went here. So
yeah, the Salem witch trials. But
exactly.
Which, by the way, nobody knows. No one was actually burned at the stake for the Salem witch trials. FYI.
Most of the time they were drowned, weren't they?
Yeah, most of them were. I think most of them were drowned. One was crushed to death.
Yeah,
and it was a dude actually, and he said, "Bring it." Dude was badass.
He said, "Add more weight," and then they killed him.
Yeah, they're like, "Are you going to confess?" He said, "No, bring it." He was like, "Bring more rocks."
He's like, he literally just every time they asked him, he just said, "Add more weight," until he just died.
What a legend!
I know, right?
Have you heard of the werewolf trials?
No,
I have not.
It's a real thing. You should watch. Look it up.
The way she said that made me doubt everything in existence. Anyway, back to
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, back to Harry Potter.
Not has to do with werewolves in a way.
Eventually,
There's a werewolf
yeah.
in there. But yeah, so Robin Williams was going to be Hagrid, and J.K. Rowling said no.
Dumb.
Yeah, want to be British. Now, I want you guys to prepare yourselves for this. All right, Rowan Atkinson. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Rowan Atkinson.
Okay, there we go. Let me start that again. Rowan Atkinson. All right, this man.
Atkinson.
He still fucked it up.
Rowan Atkinson, or whatever.
Close enough.
Mhm.
Close enough. Was rumored to play Voldemort.
That's so funny.
Rowan Atkinson is Voldemort.
Mr. Bean.
Yes. Mr. Bean was rumored to be playing Voldemort in like 2000 or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know if there was any talks about it. I don't think anybody ever mentioned like any talks about it. There was something that caused obviously this rumor to go around that he was going to play. So he might have like auditioned out of like a joke or something. I don't know. But there were a lot of rumors going around apparently that he was going to play Voldemort.
Interesting. That would have been a sight to see.
I know, right? Next is at the time of filming the first movie, there was only 3 to 4 books written actually out. Therefore, nobody knew the ending of Harry Potter except for J.K. Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
After Alan Rickman was casted by Rowling, by the way, she really wanted Alan Rickman. She pulled him aside, had a private conversation with him, and told him the character's ending. So she ended up telling him what the fate of Snape was.
Huh.
And he and her were
surprised.
Yeah, he and her those two were the only two that ever knew the ending to Snape's character and like what his backstory was. And so so I guess there's a lot of things of like, hey, what was the thing that some people asked Rowling and stuff like that, or they asked Rickman like, what's the thing that she told you? Like, what was it? She goes, always. I told him what the meaning behind always was. So that's what. So he knew throughout the entire series what was going to happen to him before anybody else did, and he kept the secret too for the entirety of the franchise until the last book.
God bless him.
God bless him.
What a legend.
God rest his soul.
Mm-hmm.
So usually a movie is finished, right? And then a composer is brought in to create the music, and they see like the edited film, and then they build the music based off of the scenes that are already kind of put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like the last people to see the movie. However, Warner Brothers asked John Williams to create some music for promotional videos, and so without ever seeing a single piece of footage of the movie, he created Hedwig's theme.
Wow!
And they thought, damn, this is so freaking good. We're going to make it into the official soundtrack. And that's how he ended up doing the soundtrack for the movie.
That man is a legend. I'm sorry. I don't understand how you don't like him, Isaiah, but that man is a legend.
I'll give you, we call it the Harry Potter soundtrack.
So good. So good.
Seriously.
Radcliffe would prank Robbie Coltrane, who played Hagrid, on the set. Him and Rupert at one point changed his phone to Turkish, and he didn't know how to change it back.
Silly old Daniel.
So, okay, now the very final question. Why is it called the Sorcerer's Stone in America?
Important.
Very important. Now, this is not just for the movies, it's also for the books. Apparently, the publishers and Warner Brothers thought American children wouldn't want to read a book or watch a movie with the name Philosopher in it. So they changed it to Sorcerer.
Yeah, it's going to make you think of Socrates and Aristotle rather than think of witches and wizards.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all of our facts today. Be a philosopher. Rap like Rupert Grint. Maybe in some alternate universe, Mr. Bean is Voldemort.
I still can't believe that. Beautiful, beautiful facts, Isaiah. I loved them. So, are you guys ready to? Rate the movie?
Yes.
The Philosopher
Yes, I'm ready.
Sorcerer.
The philosopher.
I'm ready to discuss how we're bleaching Isaiah's nose hairs.
Oh yeah, I got the kit in my house, Isaiah.
Not happening.
Whenever you're ready, we'll just do the frosted tips, like you said.
Frosted.
Just one hair, just one singular hair.
The longest one.
The longest.
Would you let me?
No.
Just one little tiny.
No.
It's a little spice.
You can dye my entire head red with Stacy. How about that?
Okay. I'm gonna text her right now.
Oh my god.
So, how do we rate Sorcerer's Stone? Now, here's an important question. Did you guys read the book?
No.
I read like a half of it, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't do this," and then I put it away, and I never touched it again.
I hate both of
I
you.
don't read.
I'm gonna give it like 2 ratings here.
2 ratings.
Yeah. Sorry.
Based off, I'm assuming one based off the book, one based off the movie.
Correct.
Okay. Look at me.
So it'll be more like 1, how it exists as a film in general,
Mm-hmm.
and 2, how well it compares to the book. Because obviously, when they do book to film adaptations, they leave some things out,
Mm-hmm.
or they change some things, or they adapt it as needed. I grew up reading Harry Potter, actually. Read all 7 of them. I used to own all 7 copies, whatever. So as a movie, in general, I would actually give it a 3.5. If I had no idea what the books were and whatnot, that's my personal rating of Sorcerer's Stone. As it compares to the world of Harry Potter, I would say this is one of the ones that did very well in terms of keeping with the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I would call it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay. Oh my God, Stacy. I can't.
Oh no. What'd she say?
I go, okay, so she replied, I said, Stacy, we're dyeing Isaiah's hair red. And she goes, is he okay? Oh.
She knows. What's funny is that like I walk into the theater job, right? And I'm pretty sure it'd be like, what the hell is this? And then everybody would kind of accept it after a week. I walk into the office job. Everybody's going to be like,
he's going through a midlife crisis. Don't talk about it.
Gotta do it early, man. Have to have several.
Listen, I went through my midlife crisis at 17. Okay. So I that's when I dyed my hair. I bleached my entire head and I went bubblegum pink. And
hold up, there's pictures of you with bubblegum pink hair.
Yeah, you've never seen that. I have one photo actually because it only lasted.
I've never seen it.
I'll send it to you.
So,
anyways, Isaiah, you can go.
I like this movie. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. But I've never read the books, so I don't know. I can't do anything. I can't do like a second rating based off the books. So I'll just do it as a movie and part of the franchise. I thought it was good. Though it obviously doesn't hold up very well to like older audiences, or if you watched it like I did, not as a child and straight in as just as an adult. Because like it doesn't do a lot.
Nothing.
Yeah, like it doesn't do like if I didn't read it as a kid and be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it, or like I didn't watch the original movie when I was a kid, there's no nostalgia factor for me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going into this as an adult. So as an adult, I thought it was still a good movie. Like even if I watched it as a kid, I probably would have enjoyed it, and I didn't still enjoy it here. But as an adult, I felt like it didn't do much for me as an adult. So I was like,
that's fair.
Okay. So I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5 because I was like, it's not just average. It's better than average, but I didn't think it was super, super great because I thought so that's what I gave it.
Okay.
My rating is also basing on like out of the 8 films, because the seventh book is split into 2 films. It's definitely on the lower tier, I guess.
I would agree. I think as time went on, the films got better. So I think I'm kind of on Isaiah's side of the whole, I didn't watch these films as a kid. My sister introduced me to them maybe when I was like 15-ish, 14, 15. And I just couldn't get through them. And then I didn't finish them. And then like a couple years back, I watched all of them and I was like, oh my God, what was wrong with me? Like, these are great. And I didn't get that nostalgia feeling either, just because I didn't grow up with it. But it's definitely like a classic, and I think my own opinion too is that, or I guess it's not my own opinion. A lot of people think this, but as the movies progress and the kids get older, the story gets darker because not only are the kids maturing and aging, but so is the audience. So like the first one is the most childish of all the movies because it was geared towards children. And then obviously like the 8th and the 7th movie are very dark and more mature because at this point, the people that grew up with Sorcerer's Stone are like, I don't know, 17, 18, older than that. Yeah. So I think I would rate it a 3 out of 5 just because it's good. But, if I'm comparing it to the others, it's definitely a lower tier, like Lewis said.
There are better Harry Potter movies.
Yes.
And we're going to get into those eventually. But
yes,
I already know my favorite.
Really, it's not Goblet of Fire.
No. Never that.
Did you put your name in the fire?
That was terrible.
It was.
You try. You go, Isaiah. Let me hear it.
I gotta say it like really fast. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
What was that?
Yeah, he says it like really, really fast. I was like, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Yeah, he's like in the book, you read it, and he's like, like a booming voice, angry, slow. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
He said calmly.
He said calmly, angrily, but calmly at the same time. Versus the film. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Oh my God, the mic just broke.
Running through the halls.
Oh my God. Anyways. Do you guys have anything you would change about it?
I don't think I would really change. It was how it was done. I want to say I would change when it was filmed. Actually,
when it was filmed.
Yeah.
Interesting. When would you change it to? Like a recent?
No, yeah, I mean like a little later on, because that has more to do with like my opinion of how the CGI and all that stuff came out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, what do you call it? The director did say that on the first movie, his biggest regret was the CGI ghosts because he felt they were not up to par to anything that should have been at the time.
So yeah, I was thinking the ogre or the troll, whatever it was.
It could have been better, but it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but like that for me, that was the worst CGI.
It could have been better given the fact that the Two Towers comes out a year later.
Two Towers. Wait, Lord of the Rings. What?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Because you had the same level of computer graphics.
CGI.
Yeah, like CGI at the same time. So there was the capability of having better CGI, and he did say that.
Yeah.
He pointed out specifically the ghosts, but I'm sure he meant the whole movie, as in like he thought it could have been better. It wasn't up to his par.
Yeah, like the troll wasn't the best. Versus like in the same film, you have you have some semblance of the magic that they sort of introduce, as well as the fact that you have Fluffy, three-headed dog.
Yeah.
His CGI was significantly better compared to the troll.
Right. I think the reason why the dog looks better than the troll, and I'm not a VFX artist at all, but this is my assumption, is because we see the dog in a more darkly lit environment versus the troll is in like a bathroom. So they could hide their mistakes more. So it looks a little better than the troll.
Yeah, and then you also have a different camera angle focusing on the dog.
Yeah.
It goes from panning out to like, when they shove the wand in his nose.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to take it back. I'm going to make it a 3.5 because I totally forgot about the chess sequence and I love that sequence for some reason.
Oh yeah, that was there is one thing I was kind of upset about, but it's at the same time it's almost negligible. There was a scene described in the book during that period of time where they're in like the dungeon, trying to go for the chess scene and all this other stuff, where they basically have to drink through this potion and like run through a magical fire, right?
Yeah.
And they left that out of the movie, which was kind of annoying. But at the same time, I almost forgive them for it, just because of the runtime and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this movie's clocking in at 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Isaiah Rowan Atkinson one more time.
No. Rowan Atkinson?
Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan?
There you go.
Yeah, he did
There
it.
we go. Yay.
AKA Voldemort.
Yes.
AKA Mr. Boldemort.
Mr. Voldemort.
Okay, so thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you don't follow us already, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify at Silver Screen Sips, and on Twitter at Silver Screen Sip with no S. You can email us at our Gmail with any movie suggestions or questions, and you'll get featured in one of our episodes. Send in your movie suggestions for our listeners' episodes, please.
Please send Dune to Bethany.
No. We post every Monday, so be sure to check us out on Mondays. And we'll see you guys in next week's episode, which is
Chamber of Secret.
Thank you. I was hoping someone was going to chime in on that. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your week.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's got a new one.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. We got to watch those too. Ugh.
What?
Oh,
I love Hunger Games.
What?
Oh, well, I guess we're going to have a fight on them. Stay tuned for the Hunger Games franchise when we fight each other on
When
it.
we have our own Hunger Games.
Yeah, I wouldn't survive.
All right. Bye, guys.